Digimon has more than its fair share of dragons. We've got regular dragons, mini dragons, ancient dragons, light dragons, dark dragons, evil dragons, dragonkin, ancient dragonkin. You get the gist. One of the most popular dragons also happens to be the mega form of Digimon Adventure 02's protagonist Digimon, Vmon. While we could just as easily take a look at the entirety of Vmon's evolutions in this video, it would take an obscene amount of time. And you can already see how long this shit is. Maybe one day in the future I'll take a look at All-Force Veedramon and the Armor Form archetypes, but not today. Welcome to the Digimon Field Guide series featuring Imperialdramon. No time for jokes and backstory this time around, we've got a lot of ground to cover this time. As opposed to the last two videos, which each had around 20-ish cards per archetype, Imperialdramon, especially thanks to BT16 Beginning Observer and BT17 Secret Crisis, has 74 cards available to its archetype. The only archetype with more than this is Greymon. So let's dig in and see what this dragon is all about, shall we? Imperialdramon, while not a result of DNA Digivolution itself, is an evolution of the first DNA Digivolution seen within a Digimon series, Imperialdramon. Omegamon was in a movie, he doesn't count. Imperialdramon's components are the champion forms of Vmon and Wormmon, an annoying blue mascot, and the cutest bug you've ever goddamn seen. Their DNA Digivolution is also worked into the deck's playstyle, one of the first two the game saw, with ST9 Ultimate Ancient Dragon being released onside the previously covered ST10 Parallel World Tactician. The deck's main colors are blue and green, for Vmon and Wormmon respectively, but as of EX3 Draconic Roar, red and purple were added into the mix for the Virus variant of the deck. The two playstyles... how about... Bleen and Rurple were previously incompatible, but it appears Bandai has worked out a way to merge the two as of BT16, albeit in a very clunky and not great manner, making it the first 4-color archetype we'll be covering. Ordinarily, this is where we'd look at the first TCG appearance of the Digimon in question, but with the deck having so many waves of support, we'll be looking at each wave in order of release, starting as far back as BT2 Ultimate Power and BT3 Union Impact. BT2 didn't contain much for this archetype outside of one egg and one level 3. Vmon is a blue level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, it gets plus 1000 DP for the turn. And Vmon is a level 3 blue Digimon with 2000 DP, a play cost of 3, and has the inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, trigger, draw 1. The Demi-Vmon and Vmon are intended to work with the All-Force Veedramon deck, but their effects, though simple, are still generic enough to fit the Imperialdramon strategy. Next in BT3, we finally saw the deck emerge into the game properly. Demi-Vmon is a blue level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect, when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has jamming, trigger, draw 1. And Minomon is a green level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect, when attacking, if you attack one of your opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for the turn. Again, with very basic and generic effects, as one usually sees in a card game's early stages, Demi-Vmon and Minomon provide some decently handy inherited effect for the style of play offered in the game's early stages, one of which pairs very well with one of the BT3 level 3s. Vmon is a blue level 3 Digimon with 2000 DP, a play cost of 3, has jamming, and that's it. Wormmon is a green level 3 Digimon with 1000 DP, a play cost of 3, and has the effect, on deletion, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add one level 4 or 5 Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Wormmon acts as a searcher on deletion, and Vmon's jamming lets it stay on board to keep attacking your opponent's security as you build your board. Both effects promote an aggressive playstyle right off the bat. Vmon in particular works quite well with its intended egg, meeting the requirements for the draw 1 effect. Minomon and Wormmon don't have the same synergy, but that changes once we move up to the level 4s. X-Vmon is a blue level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 5, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a blue level 3 Digimon. It has, when Digivolving, unsuspend one of your level 4 or lower Digimon. And Stingmon is a green level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP, a play cost of 6, and a Digivolve cost of 1 on top of a green level 3. It has the inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, gain 1 memory. Stingmon itself doesn't benefit from Minomon's inherit, but its own inherited effect works quite well alongside it, giving your Digimon an extra 1k DP to hopefully survive its attack and gain the extra memory, something which wasn't easy to come by at its time of release. XVmon, on the other hand, lets you unsuspend a level 4 or lower, ideally a Vmon, to either swing into your opponent's security again with jamming, or prepare for further Digivolution plays and attacking with the level 5s. Imperialdramon is a blue level 5 Digimon with 7000 DP, a play cost of 7, and a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 4 blue or green Digimon. It has jamming, and the inherited effect when attacking once per turn. If this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name, unsuspend it. Dinobemon is a level 5 green Digimon with 7000 DP, a play cost of 8, and a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 4 blue or green Digimon. It has piercing and jamming. Dinobemon is the perfect recipient for both Minomon and Stingmon's inherited effects, a buff putting it to 8k DP along with piercing, jamming, and gaining a memory if it deleted your opponent's Digimon in battle. Imperialdramon's jamming is also helpful to proc Demivemon's inherited effect, but its real utility lies in its own inherit for Imperialdramon to unsuspend while attacking. Also, unlike the level 4s, they can both digivolve from both blue and green sources, making them a lot more flexible, something we also see with the 2 versions of Imperialdramon included in the set. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is a blue level 6 Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 13, and a Digivolution cost of 5 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon. It has, when one of your Imperialdramon or Dinobemon would digivolve into this card in your hand, reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 2. It also has jamming, and when digivolving, unsuspend all of your Digimon with jamming. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode, the Virus version, is a green level 6 Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 13, and a Digivolution cost of 5 on top of a level 5 green or blue Digimon. It has the same cost reduction effect when one of your Imperialdramon or Dinobemon would digivolve into this card in your hand, reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 2. It has piercing, and once per turn when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, unsuspend this Digimon. Both Imperialdramons seem a little intimidating to get on board, even costing 5 memory just to digivolve, but they both thankfully have some of the first instances of special Digivolution requirements, being able to digivolve for only 3 memory if they're going on top of Imperialdramon or Dinobemon. This is something we'd see on nearly every other iteration of Dragon Mode, and the deck benefits from it greatly. The blue Dragon Mode keeps the jamming theme of the Vmon line, while the green Virus variant stays on the piercing and deleting Digimon in combat path. Both synergize particularly well with their respective color lines, of course, but mixing things up a bit as you build your stack works just as well. Imperialdramon's inherited effect in particular could be a huge benefit to Virus Imperial, allowing it up to 3 possible attacks per turn. Last on the list for BT3 are the 2 archetypal tamers for the deck. Davis Motomiya is a blue tamer with a play cost of 4, has at the start of your turn, if you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3. It has the on-play effect, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 blue and 1 green Digimon card among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck, and has the security effect, play this card without paying its memory cost. Kanichi Joji is a green tamer with a play cost of 4, has at the start of your turn, if you have 2 memory or less, set your memory to 3, and on your turn, when one of your green or blue Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory, and the security effect that all tamers share, play this card without paying its memory cost. Davis is an overall stellar searcher, and is essential to most Bleed decks, even to this day. Ken is unfortunately not as good, only being able to gain you 1 extra memory a turn if you can kill something in battle. Both are memory setters, and have an amount of decent value because of that, but Ken unfortunately fades out of use in the deck almost immediately when the next major wave of support comes along. For an archetype from the game's third ever pack, it's not terrible at what it wants to do. But things would drastically speed up from here as it got more support over time, making the cards from BT3 all but obsolete. Before that, however, a small set of 6 support cards would be released in EX1 Classic Collection. So let's take a look at those real quick. Vmon is a blue level 3 Digimon with 2000 DP, a play cost of 3, and the inherited effect, your turn once per turn. When this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, gain 1 memory. Vmon doesn't really do anything on his own, but his inherited effect is still handy for the once per turn memory gain. And for some reason, Wormmon didn't get a card in EX1, which is a crime. X-Vmon is a blue level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 5, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 blue or green Digimon. It has jamming, and the inherited effect, your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name or free in its traits, it gains jamming. Stingmon is a green level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP, a play cost of 6, a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 green or blue Digimon, has piercing, and the inherited effect, your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name or free in its traits, it gains piercing. The man... Mon? With the jam, X-Vmon has much more utility this time around. Focusing on the free trait would become a staple for the deck going forward, in addition to the focus on 2-color bleed cards and the Imperialdramon name. Having unconditional jamming on its own is also a big benefit in games where you don't have all your pieces. Stingmon is effectively the same card, but in green, and gives piercing instead of jamming. Digimon removal on top of a security check is always nice, and its extra 1k DP is a nice bonus to make the piercing a bit more useful. Imperialdramon is a level 5 blue Digimon with 7000 DP, a play cost of 8, and a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 4 blue or green Digimon. It has when Digivolving, if a Digimon card with free in its traits is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, unsuspend this Digimon. It has the inherited effect, your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name, it can't be blocked. Dinobemon is a level 5 green Digimon with 7000 DP, a play cost of 8, and a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 4 green or blue Digimon. It has, when Digivolving, if a Digimon card with free in its traits is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less. It has the inherited effect, your turn, when one of your Digimon with Imperialdramon in its name deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle and survives, gain 1 memory. Again, focusing on the free trait, EX1 Imperialdramon and Dinobemon have effects more in line with their previous incarnations. Imperialdramon unsuspending itself, and Dinobemon suspending an opponent's smaller Digimon for the purpose of destroying it in battle. Dinobemon's inherit is the same as BT3 Stingmon's without the once per turn clause, so combining the two with a way to unsuspend your Imperialdramon even once, you could see a bonus of 3 memory just from attacking. Imperialdramon, on the other hand, offers the ability to swing without fear of blockers. Not always the best ability, but it's definitely helpful against a few of the prominent black decks at the time. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is a blue level 6 Digimon with 11,000 DP, a play cost of 12, and a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon. It has, when Digivolving, if a Digimon card with free in its traits is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, unsuspend this Digimon and suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. It also has your turn for each color in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, it gains plus 1000 DP. One of the 2 currently existing Dragon modes, without the special Digivolution rules, EX1 Imperial is already a cheap enough level 6 to get onto the board. The focus on the free trait lets it unsuspend on Digivolution, but aside from that it sadly doesn't do a whole lot. Unless you're playing some crazy multicolor deck, like one bad variant of this deck after BT16, you're not going to be seeing more than a 2k boost to its DP, but at least 13k is high enough to survive most security checks. And that's it for the first round of cards the archetype would see. But sadly, they would almost all get power prepped by the starter deck ST9 Ultimate Ancient Dragon. So unfortunately, I can't recommend most of the cards from the early sets beyond BT3 Davis, which, depending on your build, could be run anywhere from 1 to 3, or EX1 XVmon, but only 2 copies. Now moving on to ST9, the wave of support that gave the deck its current identity and focus on DNA Digivolution. Starter decks only come with the single level 2, albeit at 4 copies, so there's no Demi-Vmon this time around. Instead, we get another Minomon. Minomon is a green level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect, your turn, while you have a blue Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. For an egg from a starter deck, it's not bad. I just wish it would give you more than just a 1k DP boost. There's not much else to say about this Minomon, until you take in the entirety of the art. Aside from Minomon and its baby form Leafmon being adorable, seriously, level 1's when, Bandai. You can also see in the back that they're at a daycare with a very tired Wormmon running around trying to help all the other babies who all have different needs matching those you'd see in the V-Pets. Poyomon should really let go of his antenna already. Vmon is a blue level 3 Digimon with 2000 DP, a play cost of 3, and the on-play effect, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with free in its traits among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Wormmon is a green level 3 Digimon with 3000 DP, a play cost of 3, and the inherited effect, end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digivolution cost. Vmon is a decent searcher for the deck if you're staying within blue and green, as the Rurple level 6s are both virus types going against the free type synergy, and Wormmon's inherit functions exactly like ST10 Gadomon's. Both of them are immediate 4-ofs in the deck for this time period, with both of them falling off entirely once BT12 rolls around, which speaks volume about the quality of future Vmons. The future Wormmons aren't exactly stellar per se, but they do have a lot more going on compared to a vanilla who lets your 4 to DNA. That being said, Wormmon's art seems to be a continuation from Minomon's art, but now all the babies have gone to sleep, and who said they could make me cry over card game art? XVmon is a blue level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 4, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 blue or green Digimon. When you would play this card from your hand, if you have a green Digimon in play, reduce its cost by 1. And it has the inherited effect, when attacking, if you have a green Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for the turn. Stingmon is a green level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 4, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 green or blue Digimon. When you would play this card from your hand, if you have a blue Digimon in play, reduce its play cost by 1. And it has the inherited effect, when attacking, if you have a blue Digimon in play, draw 1. Much the same as their EX1 incarnations, XVmon and Stingmon are almost the exact same card in different colors. Both with the same cost reduction effect, but checking for their opposite color, and both with a when attacking inherit that only activates if you have the opposing color on board. Thankfully, anything higher than a level 4 in this deck is going to be both green and blue, proccing any abilities like this just on its own. The play cost reduction ability is a boon either way, so running either of these at 1 or 2 isn't a terrible idea for XVmon, but Stingmon's draw power makes it a popular inclusion in most lists. Imperialdramon is a blue and green level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP, a play cost of 8, a regular Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 blue or green Digimon, and can DNA Digivolve for 0 from a blue level 4 and green level 4. It has when Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less to the bottom of its owner's deck, and when attacking once per turn, unsuspend this Digimon. Dino-Beamon is a green and blue level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP, a play cost of 8, a regular Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 green or blue Digimon, and can DNA Digivolve for 0 from a green level 4 and blue level 4. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. When DNA Digivolving, that Digimon doesn't unsuspend during its owner's next unsuspend phase. It also has the inherited effect, your turn, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP for each of its colors. The higher than normal Digivolution cost makes them feel a little daunting to get on board, but if you utilize the play reduction costs of your level 4s to get into a DNA Digivolution, you can spit out a Imperialdramon or Dino-Beamon onto the board for pretty dang cheap. Imperialdramon's effect is incredibly handy for removing low DP targets, especially if they have protection, and unsuspend on attacking is always nice. Dinobemon, however, doesn't require you to DNA Digivolve to get at least one of its when Digivolving effects to activate. It doesn't sound as handy as Imperialdramon's non-deletion removal, but it does line up with the prior Stingmon line's focus on combat. Imperialdramon is an easy 4-of for being the only real Digimon-based removal the deck has to offer at this time, but personally I'd cut this Dinobemon down to 2 to make room for 2 EX1 Imperialdramon to make use of its inherited effect. And finally, at the top of the food chain in this starter deck, Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is a blue and green level 6 Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 13, and a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon. When Digivolving, you may play one level 4 or lower blue Digimon card and or one level 4 or lower green Digimon card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying their memory costs. This Dragon Mode was the staple for this deck's top end for quite a while. Not only being a massive body, but with an effect that feels like a prototype partition, he makes a great play extender as well. Provided you have the memory for it, you could DNA into ST9 Imperialdramon and remove an opponent's Digimon, Digivolve into ST9 Dragon Mode, play out your 4s again, and DNA into another ST9 Imperialdramon for more removal. While it doesn't have the special Digivolution clause that most other Dragon Modes have, it's still well worth considering during deck building. Finally, for this starter deck, we have the deck's best removal option with an inarguably metal name. Megadeth is a blue and green option with a cost of 5. Has the main effect, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. It has the security effect, activate this card's main effect. For only 5 memory for an option that can handle up to 2 different Digimon with non-deletion removal is a stellar deal. Sure, you need both a blue and green source each on board to use it, but in this deck, especially with its future support as we'll see soon, that's a very easy requirement to meet. The security effect being to just activate its main effect is also great, making it a fun security bomb for your opponent to run into. It's honestly astounding that 2 of the best removal options in the game, even to this day, came from starter decks. Just make sure to grab 2 copies of the deck for your playset. BT8 New Awakening, which was released around the same time as ST9, came with its own small support line for 6 cards for the deck. Vmon is a blue level 3 Digimon with 2000 DP and a play cost of 3, and has the on-play effect, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 2-color blue card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. Part of a quartet of 2-color searchers, this Vmon is definitely a worthwhile searcher. But with the bottom end of the deck being all monocolor at this point, it's a risky card to include. It also doesn't do anything else for the deck, and there are better Vmons to run, so we'll give this a pass for the time being. Lydramon is a green and blue level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP, a play cost of 5, a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 3 green Digimon, but can also Digivolve for 2 on top of a Vmon. It has Armor Purge. When this Digimon would be deleted, you may trash the top card of this Digimon to prevent that deletion. And, when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Okay, so if you watched the Adventure 02 dub as a kid, you're probably scratching your head right now with regards to the name of this Digimon. For years, here in the West, we knew this thing as Raydramon. But, with the existence of Applemon, there came an actual Raydramon. The state of translation for the Digimon franchise as a whole has always been a little suspect, especially regarding names. It turns out the way it was meant to be spoken was Raydramon, as in Raiden, the Japanese word for lightning. So now we're left with a brand new translation, confusing a lot of older fans. Back to the card itself, it's an okay fill-in slot if you only want to run 4x Vmon and 4 Stingmon, and being able to suspend a level 4 or lower is great for getting floodgates off the board. It being Bleam is also very handy for being whichever color you don't have for a DNA play. That aside, it doesn't do anything else for the deck. It was a fine filler in the days before BT12, but I can't say I'd recommend it nowadays, as it's better off being run in an armor deck. And you'd think such an iconic Digimon would have made its debut in the TCG sooner, But finally, in BT8, we received our first Imperialdramon Fighter Mode. Imperialdramon Fighter Mode is a blue and green level 6 Digimon with 13,000 DP, a play cost of 12, a Digivolution cost of 5 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon, and can Digivolve for 2 on something whose name contains Dragon Mode. It has, when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less to its owner's hand. It also has, when attacking once per turn, if a blue card is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, unsuspend one of your Digimon. If a green card is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. With built-in removal on Digivolution and the ability to unsuspend something on your board while suspending an opponent's Digimon on attack is quite strong, especially for this time in the game's lifespan. Being able to go on top of any Dragon Mode for only 2 memory is also a big help, and with the addition of the deck's new Tamer in this set, it might as well be for free. But we'll talk about that in a moment, just after we deal with the big white elephant in the room. Imperialdramon Paladin Mode is a white level 7 Digimon with 16,000 DP, a play cost of 15, a Digivolution cost of 7, on top of a level 6 blue or green Digimon. When one of your Digimon would Digivolve into this card in your hand, you may return one white level 7 Digimon card from your trash to the bottom of your deck to reduce the Digivolution cost by 4. It has, when Digivolving and when attacking, you may return one 2-color card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of its owner's deck to trash all of the Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, return all of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the bottom of their owner's decks in any order. While its art is certainly sick as hell, Imperialdramon's final stage leaves a lot to be desired. 7 memory to regularly Digivolve on top of a level 6 that only gets a reduction if you have a level 7 white Digimon in trash is not what I would call good for any deck. I get that it's flavorful with regards to how Paladin Mode is made in the Revenge of Garurumon movie, but flavor can only get you so far. Its when Digivolving and when attacking effect also leaves a lot to be desired. It may not be once per turn, but only trashing the sources from one Digimon and then wiping out all of your opponent's Digimon without sources feels underwhelming for a level 7 that costs 7 to get on top of already having built such a large stack. It's a nice piece to have for your collection, but I just can't recommend you run this version of Paladin Mode. We'll check back in with him in BT17. And finally, the Tamer that really makes your top end work. Davis Motomiya and Kenichi Joji are a blue and green Tamer with a play cost of 4. They have, at the start of your main phase, if you have a blue Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If you have a green Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. Your turn. When one of your Digimon Digivolves into a Digimon with 2 or more colors, you may suspend this Tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. And of course, the security effect to play this card without paying its memory cost. It's not a memory setter, but you really get your 4 memories worth of value from Davis and Ken. 2 memory a turn if you've got a green and blue Digimon on board, and the ability to unsuspend a 2-color Digimon upon Digivolution is a great extender for getting more security checks in. Personally, I find this card most useful when going into Fighter Mode, but depending on the Dragon Modes you're running, it could be great there as well. As we'll see soon, BT12 Dragon Mode almost makes the second effect here irrelevant, which is why I like saving it for Fighter Mode. But if you're on any other Dragon Mode, you'll really want the boys here on board as soon as possible. We'll bring them back up once we hit BT12's top end for some fun examples of the deck's interactions. And lastly, another removal option featuring Fighter Mode that, sadly, doesn't give up to its most metal of predecessors. I don't even like Megadeth, why am I making this joke? Gigadeath is a blue and green option with a cost of 9, and the main effect, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, place up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their owner's decks in any order. It also has the security effect, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of its owner's deck. For what it is, Gigadeath isn't bad. It's just a lot of memory for an extremely situational board wipe. Bottom decking 10 suspended Digimon sounds great on paper, but it only suspends one Digimon on its own. So you could be staring down a full field and only end up spending 9 memory to remove a single guy. Its security effect not activating the card's main effect also feels underwhelming at first, but honestly, I'd rather it have been 6 memory for the security effect to replace its main. Its security effect is a slightly better Megadeth, but the card overall is just too situational for too high a cost. You could run it alongside a Quartzmon, but you're not likely to make any friends doing that. On the other hand, with decks like Lugamon on the rise and Diaboromon getting new support in, needing to clear full board is looking more and more appealing, even for 9 memory. Now with all this support in the game's life, Imperialdramon was finally functional enough to have its own identity. So of course we proceed to the next logical step. More targeted support to make the deck competitive, right? No, Bandai instead decided that in EX3 Draconic Roar that they would abandon everything else the deck had done before and start over in entirely new colors that focus on the virus variant of Imperialdramon. In theory, it's not an awful idea, but the execution left a lot to be desired. Hell, even the BT16 support that facilitates both versions of the deck doesn't bring it up to the same level as its Bleen counterpart. But enough bitching. Let's see what the Rurple version of Imperialdramon actually looks like. Vmon is a red level 3 Digimon with 1000 DP, a play cost of 3, who can Digivolve for 0 on top of a red or purple level 2. On play, you may trash one card with Imperialdramon in its name or free in its traits from your hand to draw 2. It also has the inherited effect, your turn, while you have a purple Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. Wormmon is a purple level 3 with 1000 DP, a play cost of 3, and can Digivolve for 0 on top of a purple or red level 2. It has the on-play ability, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 purple or red card with free in its traits, or 1 card with Imperialdramon in its name among them to your hand, and trash 1 such card among them. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It has the inherited effect, all turns while you have a red Digimon in play, this Digimon gains retaliation. At first glance, the rookies are pretty decent. Being part purple, the deck wants a lot of stuff in your trash, so pitching something off Vmon to dig for more pieces, or searching your top 3 with Wormmon and getting to trash 1 as well, are both good for what the deck wants. The inherits are both nothing to write home about. Retaliation on all turns is nice, but Vmon's 2k DP buff being only for your turn definitely could have been better. Flamedramon is a red level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP, a play cost of 5, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 red or purple Digimon. It has, when Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. You may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a level 4 purple Digimon card with free in its traits from your trash for the cost. Or, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand for the cost. It also has the inherited effect, end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand for its DNA Digivolution cost. Shadramon is a purple level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP, a play cost of 5, a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 purple or red Digimon. It has, when Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. You may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a red level 4 Digimon card with free in its traits from your trash for the cost. Or, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand for the cost. It also has the inherited effect, end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand for its DNA Digivolution cost. A nice little break from the norms of XVmon and Stingmon, though Stingmon is still one of my favorites. We've got Armor Forms. Although they don't work with the Armor Form deck at all, or maybe they do, I don't know. It's still nice to see. The level 4s here are also the crux of the deck, each grabbing each other from trash to set up DNA plays, or immediately going into a DNA play if you already have the other on board, the latter of which being good if you have to pass turn by Digivolving. But What's with that inherit they share being on level 4s instead of the 3s? Are you trying to tell me that there'll be more DNA digivolving beyond Imperialdramon and Dinobemon? Yeah, just give it a minute. Imperialdramon is a red and purple level 5 Digimon with 8,000 DP, a play cost of 8, and a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 red or purple Digimon. It can also DNA Digivolve from a red level 4 and a purple level 4. It has when Digivolving. When DNA Digivolving, you may play one Dinobemon from your trash without paying its cost. On deletion, you may play one Vmon from your trash without paying its cost. It also has the inherited effect, your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name, it gains security attack +1. Dinobemon is a purple and red level 5 Digimon with 8,000 DP, a play cost of 8, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of the level 4 purple or red Digimon, and can DNA for 0 on top of a purple level 4 and red level 4. It has, when Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving you may play one Imperialdramon from your trash without paying its cost. On deletion, you may play one Wormmon from your trash without paying its cost. It also has the inherited effect, your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name, it can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. They're basically the same card with a few name swaps. DNA into one, play the other from trash for free for yet another DNA play. Seems reasonable at first, but even with this version of the deck's trashing from hand or milling, you're not always guaranteed to have the right pieces in hand or trash. The undeletion effects to grab a Vmon or Wormmon share the same issues, but to a lesser extent thanks to BT16. The inherits aren't super fancy, but Dinobemon letting you swing directly into unsuspended Digimon is a cute alternative to Raid, letting you bypass effects that trigger on changing attack targets. Moving on to the level 6s of this line, let's see how well they can make use of these inherits. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is a purple and red level 6 Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 12, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 5 purple or red Digimon, and can DNA Digivolve for 0 on top of a purple level 5 and red level 5. It has when Digivolving. If DNA Digivolving, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon and deletes the rest. Then, Blitz. It also has when attacking once per turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP for the turn. Then, you may Digivolve this Digimon into an Imperialdramon Fighter mode in your hand for its Digivolution cost. Well, I'll be an Imperialdramon that actually DNA Digivolves. Its when Digivolving effect seems amazing, but if you're ever in a situation where you're forced to Digivolve it regularly, you're shit out of luck. Theoretically, if you can DNA Digivolve it, you could wipe your opponent's board, get the DP buff, and swing in as fighter mode for at least 2 security checks without fear of anything. But realistically, it's just Blitz unless your opponent has a large board already. And if they've got a large board, it's more than likely you're gonna have difficulty pulling off 2 DNA Digivolutions in the first place. But for the sake of completion, let's take a look at the Virus Fighter mode. Imperialdramon Fighter mode is a purple and red level 6 Digimon with 13,000 DP, a play cost of 13, a Digivolution cost of 5 on top of a level 5 purple or red Digimon, and can Digivolve for 2 on something whose name contains Dragon mode. It has Piercing, and when Digivolving, you may return one Imperialdramon Dragon mode from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of its owner's deck to prevent your opponent's security effects from activating for the turn. On deletion, you may play one Wormmon and one Vmon from your trash without paying their memory costs. Easily the best among the EX3 Imperial line. Fighter mode here is a shit brick house. With Dragon Mode's board wipe and Dino B's inherit, you can swing into the one Digimon your opponent has left, suspended or not. Plus Piercing, plus not activating any security effects, with at minimum 13k DP makes for a killer game ender. 15k if you've used Virus Dragon Mode's effect. Its on deletion effect to set yourself back up from the bottom is pretty handy as well. Personally, my favorite part of this card is that it can Digivolve for 2 on top of any Dragon Mode, meaning you can splash this in the top end of any version of the deck and never have any problems using it. The only thing I wouldn't recommend is putting it on top of the promo Dragon Mode Ace, as adding that back to hand will trigger overflow. Okay, we're finally done with the EX3 Ripple line, so there shouldn't be too much more, right? 31 cards? I suddenly regret deciding on Imperialdramon for this video. In any case, we're finally moving on to BT12, the most recent full line of support for the deck available in English at the time of writing this. It's also where you'll find the bulk of the cards used in current builds of the deck. Digimon is a blue level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect. When attacking once per turn, if you have a green Digimon in play, draw 1. Adorable art aside, this Digimon isn't the best egg for the deck. Having a green Digimon in play isn't difficult at all, but the draw 1 only being once per turn is limiting when you're unsuspending so much already. Vmon is a blue level 3 Digimon with 1000 DP, a play cost of 3, a Digivolution cost of 0 on top of a level 2 blue or green Digimon. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 card with Imperialdramon in its name or the free trait, and 1 card with Davis Motomiya in its name among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It also has the inherited effect: at the end of your turn, this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon and card in your hand for the cost. Garurumon is a green level 3 Digimon with 1000 DP, the play cost of 3, the Digivolution cost of 0 on top of any green or blue level 2. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Imperialdramon in its name or the free trait, and 1 Tamer card with Ken Ichijoji in its name among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It also has the inherited effect: end of your turn, this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in your hand for the cost. BT12 gives us the best searcher out of all the Vmons, with the additional bonus of the end of turn DNA inherit. It's also great for being able to grab the free type Omegamon. Run 4 copies at all times. Garurumon is effectively the same card in green and grabs you a Ken instead of a Davis. Unfortunately, the only solo Ken we've seen so far isn't worth running, so you could potentially whiff on the search if you only hit a solo Davis. Because of this, it's not uncommon to see builds using only Vmons in their bottom end for the solo Davis synergy, but it's not like running 3 or 4 will do you wrong when there's 3 different Davis and Kens. It's okay though, Ken and Garurumon. I still love you. Vmon is a blue level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 4, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 blue or green Digimon. It has your turn: when this Digimon would DNA Digivolve into a green Digimon card, gain 1 memory. It also has the inherited effect: while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name or the free trait, it gains jamming. Stingmon is a green level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 4, and a Digivolution cost of 2 on top of a level 3 green or blue Digimon. It has your turn: when this Digimon would DNA Digivolve into a blue Digimon card, gain 1 memory. It also has the inherited effect: your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name or the free trait, it gains piercing. The boys are back and better than ever. Again, giving their now signature inherits of jamming and piercing, they also both come with a memory gain effect on DNA Digivolution. This is a huge boost for the deck, often letting you retain your turns after an end-of-turn DNA play. For my money, these are the best 2 level 4s the deck has to offer, BT16 included. I'd run 5 of each if I could. Imperialdramon is a blue and green level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP, a play cost of 8, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 blue or green Digimon, and can DNA Digivolve for 0 on top of a blue level 4 and green level 4. It has, when Digivolving, trash the top 3 Digivolution cards of all your opponent's Digimon. Then, if DNA Digivolving, 2 of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards can't attack until the end of your opponent's turn. It has the inherited effect: end of attack: if this Digimon has Imperialdramon in its name or the free trait, gain 1 memory. Vmon is a green and blue level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP, a play cost of 8, and a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 green or blue Digimon. It can also DNA Digivolve for 0 on top of a blue level 4 and green level 4. It has, when Digivolving, if DNA Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and this Digimon gains plus 3000 DP for the turn. Then, this Digimon may attack an opponent's Digimon. It also has the inherited effect: your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon with Imperialdramon in its name or the free trait deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. This Imperialdramon is an interesting take, going for source stripping before picking 2 Digimon with no sources to lose their ability to attack for a turn. It's also not dependent on DNA Digivolving for the source stripping. That being said, I prefer the ST9 Imperialdramon for its removal over source stripping. BT12 Imperialdramon does have its advantages, especially when we get to the new fighter mode in this set, but the real star level 5 here is Dinobemon. Suspending an opponent's Digimon, buffing itself to 11k DP, and a free attack on a suspended Digimon, effectively Blitz. Combining all of that with a piercing inherit from Stingmon means a free security check on top of the free attack. BT12 Dinobemon is an instant 4-of in all of my builds, where Imperialdramon is fine at 1 or 2 copies. And now, we get to the part where things get ridiculous. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is a blue and green level 6 Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 12, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon, or can Digivolve for 3 from a Imperialdramon or Dinobemon. It has, when Digivolving, if this Digimon has a blue Digivolution card, unsuspend this Digimon. If it has a green Digivolution card, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. End of attack. This Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Imperialdramon in its name from your hand for the Digivolution cost. When this Digimon would Digivolve by this effect, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. Imperialdramon Fighter Mode is a blue and green level 6 Digimon with 13k DP, a play cost of 13, a Digivolution cost of 5 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon, or can Digivolve for 2 on top of an Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. It has, when Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards. Then, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. By returning one Imperialdramon Dragon Mode from this Digimon's Digivolution cards to its owner's hand, place all of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their owner's decks instead. All turns, this Digimon gains plus 1000 DP for each color in its Digivolution cards. While it has 2 or more colors in its Digivolution cards, it gains Security Attack plus 1 and Blocker. Thankfully, both Imperialdramon here have special Digivolution requirements to make things cheaper, because I do not want to be evolving for the same cost I could be playing a Tamer for. Dragon Mode especially is really cost effective for a level 6, especially when you're Digivolving from a suspended mon, so you can unsuspend itself, swing again, and go into a fighter mode for effectively free. This is where BT8 Ken and Davis come into play. Both EX3 and BT12 fighter modes aren't going to get anything done if they're suspended, so you save Ken and Davis' unsuspend effect for a big push to deplete your opponent's security. BT12 fighter modes when Digivolving effect is also where you'd be seeing the most use from BT12 Imperialdramon source stripping. But it's not the only way to ensure your opponent's board is suspended entirely to get most out of its bottom deck and board wipe. It's kind of like Gigadeath, except it's good and attached to a level 6. Its naturally granted blocker from having 2 or more colors in its sources is also handy if you find yourself in a situation where you just prefer to have a large body on board for blocking. And the final card included in the BT12 support wave is another solo Davis. Davis Motomiya is a blue tamer with a play cost of 3. It has, at the start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon with the free trait, or a tamer with Ken Ichijoji in its name in play, gain 1 memory. Your turn, when one of your 2-color blue and green Digimon attacks, by suspending this tamer, that Digimon may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Imperialdramon in its name in your hand for the cost. Strictly for the Bleen version of the deck, this Davis feels like a slightly less powerful version of BT8 Davis and Ken. A free memory every turn if you've got a Digimon with free typing or a Ken on board is always going to be nice. His second effect is a little situational though, as it seems to best work with the BT12 level 5s and not much else. BT12 Dragon Mode already has the ability to unsuspend itself, as well as getting into fighter mode basically for free. ST9 Imperialdramon unsuspends itself as well after an attack, letting you get another security check in before going into BT12 Dragon Mode. And most of the time, you won't need to worry about evolving into Dragon Mode when using BT12 Dinobemon's free attack when DNA Digivolving, since it'll already be at 11k DP. Run 1 copy if you have the room, but I wouldn't say he's mandatory by any means. And that's what we have available for the Imperialdramon deck in English. Except it's not. In the 3rd Anniversary Survey Pack and the Premium Bandai Digimon Adventure 02 The Beginning set, we received a total of 6 new cards for the archetype. One was even for the Ripple version of the deck. Let's take a quick breeze through these before jumping onto the future of BT16 and beyond. Shadramon is a red and purple level 4 Digimon with 5000 DP, a play cost of 5, can Digivolve for free on top of a level 3 purple or red Digimon, or can Digivolve on top of any Wormmon for a cost of 2. It has, when Digivolving, you may play one Vmon or Wormmon from your trash suspended without paying the cost. It has the inherited effect, on deletion, you may play one Vmon or Wormmon from your hand suspended without paying the cost. A when Digivolving effect to play a level 3 from trash that you might have had to pitch from hand or mill earlier in the game is quite handy, especially if you have another of the Rurple 4s to DNA with. And the inherit to do the same thing, but on deletion, is a great recovery option instead of just hoping you can use virus fighter modes on deletion effect. A solid addition to the Rurple lineup, but this variant of the deck still isn't quite there yet. Vmon is a blue level 3 Digimon with 1000 DP, a play cost of 3, a Digivolution cost of 0 on top of a level 2 blue or green Digien. It has your turn once per turn. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a card with the free trait, if you have a Tamer, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. It also has the inherited effect. When attacking, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, draw 1. Wormmon is a green level 3 Digimon with 1000 DP, a play cost of 3, and a Digivolution cost of 0 on top of any green or blue level 2. It has on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 green or blue card with 2 or more colors and 1 Tamer card with Ken Ichijoji in its name among them to the hand. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. It also has the inherited effect. End of your turn, this Digimon and another of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in your hand. This Vmon's honestly pretty good, with an inherit providing a draw when attacking if it's got 2 or more colors. Its Digivolution cost reduction effect is also pretty great for keeping turn and ideally working your way into DNA plays. Wormmon is another searcher, but like its BT12 counterpart, searching for a Ken isn't going to be as fruitful as searching for a Davis. I personally like running this promo Vmon at 2 copies, while Wormmon doesn't make the cut unless you're not running any of the solo Davises? Davi? You get the idea. Speaking of, here's a brand new Tamer for each of the boys as they appear in the new O2 movie. Davis Motomiya is a blue Tamer with a play cost of 3, and has at the start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon with the free trait, gain 1 memory. On play, activate one of the following effects. You may play 1 Vmon from your hand without paying the cost, or one of your Digimon can Digivolve into X Vmon in your hand without paying the cost. And the security effect to play this without paying its cost. Ken Ichijoji is a green level 3 Tamer with a play cost of 3. At the start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon with the free trait, gain 1 memory. On play, gain one of the following effects. You may play 1 Wormmon from your hand without paying the cost. Or, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into Stingmon in your hand without paying the cost. And the security effect, play this card without paying the cost. All of the new Tamers that the O2 gang got in this promo pack are effectively the same, with the only difference being their respective Digimon's rookie and champion forms being named in the text. Except TK and Kari, but we'll talk about those two some other time. Davis will generally see more use than Ken does, primarily due to the popularity of builds that only run Vmons as their level 3s. I suppose it could be possible to do the same with Wormmon as your entire bottom end, but the difference in card quality is kinda noticeable. And the last of the promos, but certainly not the least, is the first Ace Digimon for the deck. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode Ace is a level 6 blue and green Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 7, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon, can Digivolve on top of Imperialdramon or Dynobimon for a cost of 3, and has the standard Ace effect, Hand, Counter, Blast Digivolve. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into this card without paying the cost. It has on play, or when Digivolving, suspend 1 Digimon, then unsuspend 1 Digimon. All turns, once per turn, when this Digimon becomes suspended, you may play 1 Tamer card or 1 Digimon card with 4000 DP or less from your hand without paying the cost. And the drawback that all Aces share, Overflow. In this case, -4, common among level 6s. A welcome addition to the deck's top end, Dragon Mode Ace provides some much needed utility during the opponent's turn. It can be used to suspend and unsuspend itself to play a Tamer for free or drop something small like a Floodgate or set up your next turn like BT16 Ukomon. All that being said, you do not want this to be the Dragon Mode that goes under your EX3 or BT12 fighter modes. Removing this from your stack will trigger the overflow, and the last thing you need is to lose turn after getting Virus Fighter mode ready to blow through your opponent's security. Fine to run at 1 or 2, but with better options on the near horizon, you don't want too many copies of Dragon Mode Ace clogging up your deck. And that, my friends, is where my true knowledge of the deck ends. Just ahead of us is the brand new waves of support in BT 16 and 17, which I haven't had the chance to test out fully, but some of these make it very clear just by their own effects how good they are. Demivemon is a blue level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect, all turns, while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gains plus 1000 DP. Minomon is a green level 2 Digi-Egg with the inherited effect, all turns once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, gain 1 memory. Demivemon isn't stellar, but it's at least passable. Minomon, on the other hand, offers a free memory every turn provided your opponent has got a suspended Digimon that you can crash into. It's the only in-archetype egg that gives you any memory at all, so I think it's safe to run this one at 4. Vemon is a blue and red level 3 Digimon with 2000 DP, a play cost of 3, can Digivolve for 1 on top of a level 2 green or purple Digimon, or can Digivolve on top of any Demivemon for 0. It has your turn once per turn. When one of your other Digimon is played or Digivolves, if it has the free trait or is green, gain 1 memory. It also has the inherited effect. Your turn, this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP. Wormmon is a green and purple level 3 Digimon with 2000 DP, a play cost of 3, and can Digivolve on top of a level 2. And has a Digivolution cost of 1 on top of a level 2 blue or red Digi-Egg. It can also Digivolve on top of a Minomon for a cost of 0. It has, at the start of your main phase, and on play, if it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 4 Digimon card with the Insectoid or free trait in your trash, with the Digivolution cost reduced by 1. It also has the inherited effect. When attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Vemon's effect is cute, effectively reducing the single play cost or Digivolution by 1, but I'm in no rush to add it into the Bleen version of the deck. Wormmon, on the other hand, should be run at least 3 copies. A reduced Digivolution that can also do this from trash is fantastic. It's also beneficial outside of Imperialdramon in insect decks. His inherited effect is also super handy for lining up future attack targets. And just look at him, swinging along without a care in the world. He deserves this. X-Vemon is a blue and red level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 4, a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 3 green or purple Digimon. Can also Digivolve on top of any Vemon for a cost of 2. It has Raid, as well as on play and when Digivolving, one of your Digimon can't be deleted in battle until the end of your opponent's turn. It also has the inherited effect. Your turn, this Digimon gains plus 2000 DP. Stingmon is a green and purple level 4 Digimon with 4000 DP, a play cost of 4, a Digivolution cost of 3 on top of a level 3 blue or red Digimon. Can also Digivolve on top of any Wormmon for a cost of 2. It has Retaliation, as well as on play when Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. It also has the inherited effect. When attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. BT16 X-Vemon is a neat tech for protecting a smaller mon, or even a vulnerable level 6, and Stingmon is great for setting up an attack target, or if you just want to crash for retaliation. X-Vemon's inherit is okay, while Stingmon's is basically the same as its on play and when Digivolving effect, but now when attacking. Stingmon is generic enough to see play in insect builds, while X-Vemon is passable in Imperial. But while BT12 and EX1 X-Vemon exist, I can't really see myself running BT16 X-Vemon anytime soon. BT16 Stingmon, maybe 2 copies. Imperialdramon is a blue and green level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP, a play cost of 8, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 blue or green Digimon, and can DNA for 0 on top of a blue level 4 and green level 4. It has Partition into a blue level 4 and green level 4. When Digivolving, suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards as this Digimon. Then, if DNA Digivolving, none of their Digimon can unsuspend until the end of their turn. When attacking once per turn, suspend one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If this effect didn't suspend, unsuspend this Digimon. It also has the inherited effect, Partition, a blue level 4 and green level 4. For Partition, when this Digimon with each of the specified Digivolution cards would leave the battle area other than by your effects or battle, you may play one each of the specified cards without paying the cost. BT16 Imperialdramon is a brick shithouse. More often than not, you'll be suspending your opponent's entire board, and if you don't get all of them on Digivolution, you can hit another one on attack. This is also our first look at the new keyword Partition. With the Partition targets being a blue level 4 and green level 4, it's effectively the same as ST9 Dragon mode, but on deletion instead of when Digivolving. Having Partition as its own effect, as well as an inherit, makes your board a lot harder to deal with, and I can't see any reason to run less than 4. It commands the second highest price in BT16 for a reason. Now, with all the previous sets, I've shown Imperialdramon and Dinobemon together, but there's a reason why I've separated them for BT16. And that reason is because Dinobemon is a purple and red level 5 Digimon with 8000 DP, a play cost of 8, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 4 purple or red Digimon, and can DNA Digivolve from a purple level 4 and red level 4 for 0. It has Raid, Partition for a purple level 4 and red level 4, and when Digivolving, if DNA Digivolving, you may play one level 5 or lower Digimon card with the free trait from your trash without paying the cost. Then, one of your Digimon gains a rush for the turn and may attack a player. It has the inherited effect, Partition, a purple level 4 and red level 4. That's right, this Dinobemon is direct support for the virus line, and it can do the same as both of the previous Rurple level 5s without the name restriction. And it gives them rush, and even lets them attack right away. That, plus Raid, Partition on its own, and as an inherit, give the Rurple variant a lot more staying power. Not enough for it to stand on its own, but it's definitely better off than it was previously. It's also generic enough to be run in pretty much any Rurple deck. I'd replace the EX3 Dino-B with this one in a heartbeat. Run it wherever you can. Now enough of that Rurple stuff. It's time to get back to the bleen with our last level 6s of the video. Imperialdramon Dragon Mode is a blue and green level 6 Digimon with 12,000 DP, a play cost of 12, a Digivolution cost of 4 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon, and can Digivolve over a Imperialdramon or Dinobemon for a cost of 3. It has when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers can't unsuspend until the end of their turn. Then, by suspending one of their Digimon or Tamers, unsuspend one of your Digimon. And all turns, when an effect plays or Digivolves an opponent's Digimon, if you have a Tamer, this Digimon may Digivolve into Imperialdramon Fighter Mode in the hand without paying the cost. And Imperialdramon Fighter Mode Ace is a blue and green level 6 Digimon with 13,000 DP, a play cost of 8, a Digivolution cost of 5 on top of a level 5 blue or green Digimon, can Digivolve over an Imperialdramon Dragon Mode for a cost of 2, and, of course, can Blast Digivolve. It has On Play, and when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer Digivolution cards as this Digimon to the bottom of the deck, and if attack once per turn, unsuspend this Digimon. Then, if Dragon Mode is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. And of course, Overflow -4. Much like its promo predecessor and BT12 Dragon Mode before it, Dragon Mode lets you suspend Digimon or Tamers, and unsuspend one of your own Digimon. Dragon Mode also keeps it down for a turn, making it a nice control tool. Its All Turns ability is also a nice upgrade from BT12 Dragon Mode, letting you go into Fighter Mode for free at virtually any time. Run 4. 3 minimum if you're adamant about keeping a different Dragon Mode in your list. Fighter Mode Ace, on the other hand, is all about the removal. The on-play when Digivolving effects is restricted to Digimon with as many or less sources underneath, but given that on average you'll have 6 or 7 sources, it likely won't be an issue unless you're up against something like Machinedramon or Black or Greymon X. I'm still cautious around Ace Digimon due to the overflow downside, but running 2 of Fighter Mode Ace is pretty safe. Davis Motomiya and Ken Ichijoji are a blue and green tamer with a play cost of 4. At the start of your main phase, you may play one Vmon or Wormmon from your hand without paying the cost. At the next end of your opponent's turn, return it to the hand. Your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a blue or green Digimon, by suspending this tamer, gain 1 memory. If DNA digivolving, trash any 3 Digivolution cards under your opponent's Digimon. The boys are back together, functioning similarly to their previous promo incarnations, but on 1 card this time. A free Vmon or Wormmon is great, since the bounce back to hand isn't even always a drawback. Getting to recycle your BT12 Searcher Vmon is really handy if you're missing anything in particular, and recycling a BT16 Wormmon is nice to keep recurring stuff from trash. They also give a memory on digivolving into anything blue or green, which is always welcome, but for me the real draw here is the source stripping on DNA digivolution. Removing bothersome inherits is incredible, especially if your opponent is working with a large stack, or even 2. These boys are a mandatory 2 of, but I don't think running 3 would do any harm. Invincible Dragon Insect Fusion is a blue and green option with the cost of 3. It has main. You may play one X-Vmon or Stingmon from your hand without paying the cost. Then, 2 of your Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a Digimon card in your hand. Until the end of your opponent's turn, the Digimon this effect DNA Digivolve can't be deleted in battle and gains blocker. It also has the security effect, you may play one Vmon or Wormmon from your hand, or trash without paying the cost. Then, add this card to the hand. For 3 memory, this is a hell of a playmaker. Bypassing the need to have both 4s on board with an end-of-turn DNA inherit, you can just Evo into one of your 4s, play this, and you get a blocker who's guaranteed to survive combat until your next turn. The security effect for playing one of the rookies for free is really advantageous as well. We've come a long way from basic security effects like just adding it to hand, or nerfed versions of its main effect. Unfortunately, as much as I love this card, deck space is tight, so I can't really justify running more than 2. And that's it for BT16. Finally. But we're at the final reason for the video being so late. The 3 new support cards from BT17. I hesitated for the first few weeks of reveals after seeing these, as I wasn't sure if we'd get any more cards in the set, but we didn't. So let's rattle these off and finally get this oversized archetype over and done with. Imperialdramon Paladin Mode Ace is a level 7 white, blue, and green Digimon with 16,000 DP, a play cost of 9, a Digivolution cost of 6 on top of a level 6 blue or green Digimon, and can Digivolve on top of a level 6 with Imperialdramon in its name for a cost of 5. Can also Blast Digivolve. It has on play, when Digivolving, trash all Digivolution cards of all of your opponent's Digimon. Then, return all cards from your opponent's trash to the bottom of the deck. If this effect returned a white level 7 card, gain 3 memory. When attacking, by returning one of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck, unsuspend this Digimon. Has the special rule includes as the free trait, since it regularly has the Ancient Warrior trait, and has Overflow 5, fitting for a level 7. Finally, a good Paladin mode. The Overflow 5 is definitely something to be wary of, but when you've got effects this strong on play and when Digivolving, you'll almost never need to worry about it, since you're going to end the game. It's cheap to play on your turn, you can ruin an opponent's turn with the Blast Digivolution, and if your opponent has a wide enough board, you can take out all their security at once. Because you see that when attacking effect? Notice the complete lack of a once per turn condition on it? This thing is made to win games on the spot. Not to mention, if you're Digivolving on top of an existing fighter mode stack, there's all the inherited effects you would have to take into account on top of that. It's ridiculous, but I think that's okay for a level 7, is what I would say, but you can still slap it down on its own for 9 memory. Now, all that being said, I wouldn't run it at more than 1 copy, since you're almost always guaranteed to win once it hits the board. Just try not to let your poker face slip so your opponent doesn't realize they're doomed before it happens. Davis Motomiya and Ken Nichijoji are a blue and green tamer with a play cost of 5. At the start of your turn, if you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3. All turns, when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with the free trait would be deleted in battle, by suspending this tamer you may play one level 4 or lower Digimon card from its Digivolution cards without paying the cost. At the end of your turn, one of your Digimon with the free trait may attack an opponent's Digimon. The final Davis and Ken card from their second to last appearance. First off, it's the first memory setter for the deck since BT3 Davis. That does make it cost 5 to play, but combined with its following effects, I think that's more than a fair price to pay. Half a partition on losing one of your level 5s or higher is nice if you're not able to make a BT16 Imperialdramon so you can set up for the following turn, but only triggering on battle-based deletion is a bit less than what I had hoped for. I suppose it's only fair considering the card's cost and other effects, otherwise we'd end up with the game's first 6-cost tamer. The free effect at the end of turn is also very nice for some possible removal or even swinging for game. The boys together do not disappoint, but with so many choices for tamers in the deck, I'd run 2 at most. Return to the Ancestors is a blue and green option with a play cost of 2. Main, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a level 5 or higher Digimon card with the free trait in the hand with the Digivolution cost reduced by 4. Then, place this in the battle area. All turns, when one of your Digimon with the free trait would be deleted other than by one of your effects, delay. By digivolving that Digimon into a Digimon card with Imperialdramon in its name in the hand without paying the cost, prevent that deletion. Its security effect, you may play one tamer card with Davis Motomiya or Ken Nichijoji in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then place this card in the battle area. Not a bad option if you find yourself lacking a second level 4 in the right colors for a DNA play. Return to the Answers lets you accelerate into your top end pretty quickly, and for a surprisingly low cost. That being said, as it stands now, before the English release of BT17, I wouldn't run this at any more than 1 copy, if at all. It's certainly got its upsides, but it requires you to have done some setup to get the most out of it, plus having to wait at least 1 turn to get the delay effect might just be a little too late. In all honesty, I'd like to be wrong about this one, since its effects are pretty cool, but only time will tell, I suppose. And that's it. It's done. We finally made it through the Imperialdramon archetype. The archetype has a lot going on for it, with the 2 major variations of the deck and an almost endless amount of cards to choose from compared to most archetypes, with different ways to run even just the Bleen variant. There's 2 cards I didn't cover from BT16, Togemogumon and Sethmon, but mainly due to the fact that, like Lydramon, they don't do a whole lot for the strategy overall. In its current state, it's even a top meta contender, behind Magna X of course, which is a long way from the days when people wouldn't even consider it on any tier list. Anyways, here's a deck list for the Bleen version of the deck. It's heavier on the green side, but I'll admit that's due to my bias towards Wormmon and Stingmon. I'll also admit that I'm a weenie when it comes to running Ace Digimon, so, feel free to adjust the top end however you like. Oh, and here's one for the Rurple version. Honestly, not a huge departure from the original lists you would have seen back in EX3. It's still not great by any means, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And finally, this monstrosity. You know that bit in Jurassic Park 2, I think? Where Jeff Goldblum says, "Your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, that they didn't stop to think if they should." That's what this list is. It shows you can do the 4-color version of the deck, but it's not good. I'm never doing an archetype this big again. I'd say sorry to all the Greymon, Garurumon, Omegamon players, but I'm not sorry at all. God, is this why Rada's never done an archetype archive on Heroes? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go start working on the update video for Mastamon and Diaboromon. And I swear to God, if Imperial gets any more support before BT21, I'm gonna be very upset.